Well, good evening, and welcome. Welcome to Sweet Blessings, the award winning Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we come every Wednesday to inspire, to encourage, and to empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. I'm a little hoarse this evening, the allergy season. But I am a retired teacher, a educational consultant, I am an author, I am a jury consultant, a health consultant, and I am also a certified cake instructor. So I bring to you a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversations this evening. Each episode, we're going to dive into topics that enrich your lives, from personal development and education to health and wellness, and of course, the art of jury. So, excuse me, I'm going to have to drink a little water here this evening. Mm. So, I want you to join me this evening as we explore inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help us live that blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. I want to thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where every conversation is a treasure. And so, I must say, we have really, really been expounding on some really beautiful topics, but topics that are not so easily attainable. Okay, slip slide, slip slide. And so, since the beginning of the year, we've talked about personal development, and we talked about setting goals. And so now we're in the midst of talking about financial freedom. And sometimes you'll hear people say, "Oh, I want to be rich. Oh, I've never wanted to be rich." And I just, let me get my chair together here. But all I really ever wanted to be was to have financial freedom. And financial freedom, to me, is being able to do those things, or being able to afford those things that I like to do. Well, naturally, the things that I like to do are kind of expensive, unfortunately. I just have that taste, but that's okay. That's okay, as long as I can get myself together so that I can still do those things because I enjoy doing those things. And so that's what we have been talking about. And so for the past few weeks, I've been giving you steps and things. We've talked about budgeting and finding out why we're budgeting and what save different savings plans and how we can save. And I hope that you learned a little bit from that, because I have. I've learned about some other savings plans that I did not even know about. So it's always good to keep yourself so that you're learning all the time, because things are changing. And so this evening we're going to talk about letting your money work for you. So we're going to talk about investments. Now, I'm not going to say that I did not know about investments. I did, but I don't think I really understood the worth of investments. Okay. Now, my mother did try to instill that into me, but I think with her it was just trial and error as well. It was trial and error. She was learning about it, and she really was trying to convey that message over to me, which was not. I hate to say it, but it was going in this ear and, coming out this other ear. It is not until I have reached a certain age where I realized the importance of what she was trying to say to me about investments. So we're going to take a brief commercial and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about investments. All right, we are back. We are back. Those are some of the Z collections from the Jazzy Jewels collection. As many of you all might know, the jewelry has gone up now, where it is gone up to $8. So that was a little promo to let you know all about it. So let's delve right into it today. So let me pull up my presentation here. I'm glad I took some medicine because I really wasn't feeling well. Because, it's that season and people have been outside. You know what they're doing. They're mowing the lawn. They're doing some of everything out there. And so, I have allergies, and so I suffer from that. And so my neighbor, they were mowing theirs today. But let's just talk a little bit about investments. What is investments? Let's see. What is it? It says that investments are a way to grow your money over time by putting it into assets that have the potential to increase in value or generate income. That was a mouthful to me. So basically, you're putting your money away. Okay. Later on in the presentation, I will give you a shorter version of that. But basically, that's what investment is. Now, most people, when they think of investment, not most people, I'm not going to say that, but, you know, I'm going to say, I got to say in the African American community, because that's the community that I'm in. We don't invest. what we did was we would invest in the bank. We would put our money in the bank. That's our savings, how we would invest. But sometimes that putting your money into the savings, um, you're not earning as much money as you possibly can on your money. So well, what I'm basically going to talk about this evening. It took me a long time to learn this, you all, and I'm still, like I say, I'm a work in progress. But you can be a work in progress along with me. It's never too late to uh, to learn. And as we go through this, I've spoken to you on many occasions and told you that I have made many mistakes, and that most of my mistakes have been in the financial area, and I attribute that to lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. So I'm trying to correct that because I think that that's what we all should do when we find that we're weak in an area. We need to try to correct it or get someone to help us to correct it. So I'm doing both. You know what I'm saying? So, and not to say, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm telling you, my mother, some of these things my mother tried to instill in me, but the that mindset was really not there at that time, but it clicked as I got older. So we know that investments. So why? Why do we invest? That's the next question. Why do we invest? Do you know? Well, what they're saying is an investment is when you allocate money with the expectation of a return or profit in the future. This could be through appreciation, uh, the assets gain, value, income, like dividends or interest or both. I don't know why that 9 is there. I guess I mistyped by accident there. But the assets gain value, income. Let me look at my notes and see. Oh, I know what it was. That should have been a bracket there, and I hit the 9 instead of the bracket. Value, like dividends, interest, or both. I'm telling you, I'm having issues with my throat here. So as we let's look at this. I got a little table here. I think it's the next slide. Let's see. Yes, on the common types of investment, and most of these, I'm going to say maybe you have heard. I'm sure you've heard of stocks because the stocks is on the news every day. Stocks and bonds, stocks. You know what I'm saying? The Dow Jones dropped so many things. You hear that when they're doing the business report on the news, if you watch the news. Bonds and stocks is. Let me backtrack because buying shares from a company value, it rises and falls with the market. And that is so true because, at one point I worked for Avon. I've had many jobs, y'all. But I left my teaching job to go into the corporate world. And while I was in that corporate world, or while I worked for Avon, they gave me shares in the company. Okay? So getting the shares is good, but the thing about the market is it goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. So you have to, that's your risk level. It's from medium to high. It's always up, up or down. Then we have bonds. Now, bonds is lending money to the government or corporations for interest. Okay. So I'm not really that familiar with bonds, but I do remember because I was a teacher and we had a strike or something, and they talked about, I could remember now, them talking about bonds. So, sometimes you just don't know the different things. And then I'm reflecting back on times when maybe I have heard it, maybe you heard it too. But the risk factor in that is low to medium. It's low to medium. And then you have mutual funds. It's a pool of investments managed by professionals. And the risk factor in that varies. Now, I have had a mutual fund. I don't have a mutual fund now because I cashed it in, but I have had a mutual fund because when I was teaching, we were able to get mutual funds. And so I acquired and I saved a little bit. But when I tell you where I have my difficulty, it is there. I had it there, but emergency came up and I cashed it in. Because why? I did not have that emergency fund. So, I'm learning as I go that I need an emergency fund because the emergency comes up. So you don't mess with the primary money that you're working with. So you got to, um, I'm learning to correct my mistakes. So I'm hoping that I help others with theirs as we go along. So ETFs. Now I wasn't familiar with them, but they said they're similar to the mutual funds, but uh, you trade them like stock, and so the risk factor kind of varies within that factor. Okay, let's go on. I think it's a few more. Let me see. Yeah. So, real estate. Now, this is another one. When you think of investments, most people will think of real estate. Have you ever noticed that the people who make a lot of money, the movie stars, the musicians, when they make all of that money, they invest their money into real estate. It's property that you can rent or sell. Property that you can rent or sell. Now, the risk factor is from medium to high. Medium to high. CDs, certificates of deposit, I've had that, I've cashed that in. It's a fixed saving account with a guaranteed return. So if you leave your money in that account for so many years, you are guaranteed to get this amount. So the risk factor on that is very, very is low. And then we have the retirement account, which are the 401ks or the IRAs, and I think I've had those as well. And though you take that's a tax advantage account to grow long-term wealth, and the risk factor in that varies as well. So, like I said, some of these I knew about, and then some of them I did not. They were you know foreign to me. So anyway, we're gonna take another commercial, and then when we come back, we're gonna see why invest. Why do you want to invest? What is the purpose of investing? Let's break. Let's break for that commercial and see why. Oh why? Oh why?
Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment. A perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more. Ready to shine on the global stage? Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.
All right, we are back. We are back. And if you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Sweet Blessings, the award-winning Anna L. Brothers Show and podcast, where we come to you every Wednesday to inspire, to encourage, and to empower you to live a blessed and a fulfilling lifestyle. Um, so as we were going to commercial, I did notice, and I said we were going to come back and we were going to talk about why would we want to invest? Why? Why? So, number one, it beats inflation. Your money retains value over time. It grows wealth and net worth. You can save for your retirement, emergencies, or big life goals. You earn passive income. So, some key principles of that would be to diversify. I don't know if you've heard this before, but my mother used to always tell me, she would say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but this is very much similar to it. Don't put all your money in one type of investment. You don't want to put your money in one type of investment. You want to diversify. And the reason for that is that this over here investment might be doing well, but over here this one might not be doing well. And that's what I found out when I had my mutual funds. But it kind of, balanced itself out. Now, I learned from that, not only from that, but I was also in a investment club. I'm telling you, I've had experience, but I just could not seem to grasp what was asked of me, okay, and what I needed to do to move forward, okay. So, and if you just don't know, you just don't know. The purpose of the thing is to find out and then proceed on to correct those. And so, yes, I was in an investment club, and I loved it. But it got to be so thing that we stopped it. So we divided up the money, and they gave it. And instead of me investing my money, I did something else with it. So what I'm saying, that's what I mean. So you want to start early. Compound interest works best over time. Know your risk tolerance. Match investments to your comfort level. Set goals. Invest with a purpose. Retirement, college, education, to buy a house. Stay informed because the market changes. So keep learning. Never ever stop learning because every day, that market changes. So this is the thing that I was going to tell you that when I started in the beginning. Investing is like planting a money tree. You plant, that's you investing. You wait, you let it grow. and you harvest, you earn profit. It's not about getting rich overnight, but about building wealth over time. All right, so I think we're going to go to another commercial, and then I want to come back and kind of talk to you a little bit about how do you go about starting to invest, because that's important. A lot of people, you hear me talking about the investing, but where do you start? Where do you start? How do you start investing? And as you can see, when I tell you I have done many, many things, but I never really did the research. Somebody came and told me this, I joined this. There was never ever any guidance or criteria. When I was in the investment club, we would research the stock, but what was I researching? I had no clue, no idea, no. But what I did learn was that it helped me to learn about stocks. Okay, so we're going to take another commercial break, and then when we come back, I am going to tell you how you can get started with investing. Just a little short commercial. All right, we are back. I just do want to let you know that you can reach out to me. I do go live twice a week. I mean, 3 times a week on Facebook. And you can, with my jewelry. And this is my, I want to show you my Facebook. This is my Facebook. Um, that's where I go live and I go live on Tuesdays. I have a pop-up Tuesday. I also go live on Thursdays, which is tomorrow, and I go live on Instagram and Facebook. So if you want to tune in and learn the latest with the jewelry, you can also do that as well. I just decided, or I have just opened my own website where it's brand new. It's work in progress, you all, but I do have it. It is up and running, and would love for you to go and check it out. You can also go there if you're interested in being a guest on Sweet Blessing, or advertising or sponsoring a commercial. Or you can always also reach out to me at info@AnnaLifestylesLLC.com. So would love to hear from you. Great things also. Also, I ask everyone who comes on to please subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Okay, so we're going to move on now, and we are going to talk about how to get started with investing. So before you can invest, you got to make sure you have a monthly budget. You've got to build a small emergency fund, at least $500 to $1,000. You'll make progress on high interest debt like your credit cards and stuff like that. So you're going to be making progress. So you're going to be paying on those. And why do you want to do this? Well, you don't want to invest money that you need in a hurry, like what I was doing. You don't want to put that money in there and then have to take it out because an emergency came. So before you even start investing, have these 3 bullet points in place. That's the first thing that you need to do. Then the next thing is that you want to set your investment goals. Now, sometimes people think that because they're investing, that it has to be an enormous goal, but it doesn't. So you want to set a time frame. And I always tell people, how long can I save this money alone? Or how long can I leave this money alone? How long can I save it alone? So I always tell people to have short, medium, and long term. So you'll be able to maybe use that money in the short thing as opposed to you wanting to use it in the other. I'm having one of my summers, I guess you can see. So the purpose, what am I investing for? Well, you can invest for many things. People invest to buy a car. They want, they save money to buy cars. Save money to buy a house. They save money for what? They save money to go to school. I mean, they invest so they can save that stuff up so they can do some of the things that they love to do. The risk factor, can I handle the ups and downs in the market? Because it's going to be some ups and downs. Just like in sales. Some days the sales just come, and then other days I don't sell but one thing. That's okay. Because to me, it's not about the sales. It's about the relationship that I built. And I have, over the years, I've built some great relationships. So, set your investment goals. Once you have set your investment goals, then what you're going to do is you want to choose the right account. You need a place to hold your investments. Pick one that fits your goals. Remember when I talked about budget, we needed to have a value-based budget so that you are saving for your values, what you value. So it's the same thing with choosing the right account. You got to find the one that fits your goal. Now, for retirement, it might be a 401k, an IRA, or a Roth IRA. For the general wealth building, you might have a brokerage account. And then for the short-term goals, you might have a high-yield savings, a CD, or a low-risk ETF account. So when you look at these are some of the accounts. You can open an account with these companies. These are well-known companies. And I have an account with Robinhood. I didn't know that I was doing the right thing, y'all. Even though in the past I have messed up, I still have that desire to invest. So I do a little small investing with Robinhood, but any one of these companies. I've been looking at Acorn because Acorn does some different things as well for the person with not too much, not too much money, whatever. But these are, research it. Research these companies and see, because they do offer different things. I'm way ahead of my notes here. So after you look at the companies and you find the one that fits, then what you want to do is you want to pick your first investment. So you got to target date funds, set it up, and forget it for retirement. So you're going to just set it up and don't think about it. Index funds, you want to track the entire market like S&P 500. So you want to track your earnings, but you don't want to, you don't want to track it like every day, you know. The ETFs is like a mutual fund, but easier to trade and low cost. So basically what you want to do is you want to keep it simple, because one ETF or mutual fund can get you started. All you want to do is get started. Play around with it, experiment with it. Once you feel comfortable, then move on, grow. There's nothing wrong with growing. Okay, let's see what is next here. You got to decide on how much to invest. Now, $25 to $50 a month. And as you see on here, it says automatically. So which means that you want to invest that money right away. You want it to come out of your check. You don't even want to see it. You want it to go strictly to your investment. $25 to $50 a month. And you can use round-up apps. This is what I was saying about the Acorn. Acorn is a round-up app. So to invest your spare change. So if you invest and you make money and you have spare change, then they round it up and they put it into your, they reinvest it. So you can also contribute to employee sponsors 401k plans, especially if they match. So sometimes you're working at a company and they will match your funds. Okay, you put so much in, then they will put so much in, which is great. So, and I encourage automate your deposits, so it's hands off. That's what it basically is. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna touch it. No, you're gonna mess with it. You're human. So you want to check in, but don't obsess. So you want to track your investment every few months, not every day. You want to reinvest your dividends. Your money earns more money. And you want to keep learning as you go. Keep learning as you go. I'm going to tell you, you never get too old to learn. So, let me see. So, and you want to keep growing. So you want to increase your investment as your income grows. And then what I just said, start small. Once you get the hang of it, then you can do a little bit more. Diversify over time. So you want to have some stock, you want to have some bonds, and you also want to have real estate. And then you want to learn about new tools and strategies gradually. Now, I want to let you know that when we had the investment club, we had a broker. We had a broker. I mean, I'm telling you, I learned a lot for someone not to know anything. I really did. So it was nice. Really. So I want to thank you this evening for tuning in. It's just been such a pleasure, and I'm hoping that in some kind of way that I have inspired you. I'm hoping that I have encouraged you, and I'm also hoping that I have empowered you to live a better and a blessed lifestyle. So as we close out, I want you to. I do have a few little upcoming events that's coming up. I have a guest speaker coming in June. She's a pastor, Pastor Dr. Marilyn Fenderson, and she will be speaking with us as well. And also, we have a summit that is coming up in South Carolina. So I want to show you those things. Alrighty, we are back. I wanted to show you the upcoming events that was coming up in June. And also our next episode, which will be on legacy, financial legacy. And legacy is leaving something for your family. And a lot of times we don't think about that, or but I want to talk about that next week because it's important, and we all need to know a little bit about that, including myself. Okay. So with that being said, I am going to leave you with my 3 L's. You know what they are. Most of you do know. The first L is live. You want to live your life. Live your life to the fullest. Oh God. Life is short. And that's why it's important that you do those things that you like to do. The second L is to laugh. Ooh, laughter is good for that soul. It makes you feel better. You can be so sad but it just makes you feel better when you laugh. Sometimes you don't even want to laugh, and people make you laugh. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. You want to laugh. Laughter is so good. And the last thing is love. Love. Make sure you love. Love is very important. And you really should love everyone. I know it's difficult to do that because some people can be difficult. But the most important person that you need to love, y'all, is you. So make sure you pat yourself on the back and tell yourself that you love yourself. Don't ever forget that. Y'all have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.